Hollywood has just been rocked by a bombshell new documentary called Quiet on Set, which uncovered the shocking behavior of adult writers, producers, and staff on children's Nickelodeon TV shows. And honestly, this gets dark. Now, while a whole bunch of disturbing claims were made, one name in particular was continuously dropped by former child actors and other staff now speaking out, and that name is Dan Schneider. He was the producer for some of Nickelodeon's biggest TV shows in the 90s and 2000s, but now, decades later, he's being accused of years of abuse, inappropriate behavior on set, and even writing wildly suggestive jokes into the shows that children would later have to act out. One, for example, was that people who worked with him said that he had a massive foot. And when you hear that before watching a lot of these scenes, you start to see them with a very different perspective.
Have you ever said something, like a sentence, and thought to yourself, wow, like, I bet nobody else on earth has ever said those exact words that I just said. Oh man, my uvula got stuck between that hamster's toes. That could never happen, because your uvula is that swingy thing in the back of your throat right here. I'm soaking wet! Because the ocean is even more wet than even the wettest person in the world. Have you ever tried to get your whole big toe in your mouth? Check this out. Sometimes I wonder if you can get juice from a potato. I'm thirsty!
And what's worse is that because these shows were made for kids and made by kids, neither the actors or viewers were old enough to realize how horrific these scenes were until they grew up. People working on the shows behind the scenes would even raise concerns, asking questions like, where's the joke? Why does this need to be in the show? And if certain costume designs like this one were deliberately meant to represent what it looks like. All of those questions, however, were dismissed, and it's said that the working environment was structured in a way that if you speak out, your career would be affected. Also in the documentary, Drake Bell, for the first time ever, spoke out, revealing that he was the unnamed minor in the 2004 SA conviction of acting coach Brian Peck. If you didn't know, Brian pled no contest to 2 charges of child abuse and was sentenced to only 16 months in prison. The very day after this documentary was released, Dan Schneider did an interview where he said he owes some people a pretty strong apology and called his behavior embarrassing and regretful. Sadly though, what I've mentioned in this video is only a tiny proportion of what this documentary uncovered.